I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Every single year, it's the same thing, one cold after another, and it just wipes me out for days. I've tried everything, the vitamin drinks, the supplements, the cold medicines that promise to fix everything. But honestly, nothing seems to work anymore.
But it got me thinking, what if the most powerful medicines were not cooked up in a lab, but were written down in the pages of the Bible thousands of years ago? The Bible mentions dozens of powerful herbs, resins, and spices for health and purification. So I am going on a mission. I am going to create an immune-boosting potion using only herbs from biblical texts, and I'm going to try it for 7 days straight. Will these holy herbs actually do anything, or is this all just ancient folklore? Stick around and let's see if the secret to a stronger immune system has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So before we kick off this 7-day experiment, let's talk about the why. For me, this is a search for something more natural, more time-tested, and frankly, something that feels connected to a deeper wisdom. I think a lot of us feel like we are just running on fumes, constantly fighting off low energy, and that feeling like you are always about to get sick. I know I am. That is my before picture. My plan is to see if I can flip the script using this ancient immune potion. But what actually goes into it? I did not just throw a bunch of stuff in a jar. I really dove into the texts and cross-referenced them with historical and scientific research to pick the ingredients. After a lot of reading, I narrowed it down to 4 powerhouse ingredients, each with a long history and a specific job to do. First up, and maybe the most famous, is garlic. The Bible mentions it in Numbers 11:5, when the Israelites were wandering in the desert and reminiscing about all the good food they had in Egypt, including garlic. It was a staple known for its potency. For thousands of years, it has been the go-to remedy for all sorts of infections. Next, we have hyssop. This one is huge. In the book of Exodus, God tells the Israelites to use a hyssop branch to paint lamb's blood on their doors during the Passover. And later in Psalm 51, King David prays, "Cleanse me with hyssop, and I will be clean." From a biblical standpoint, hyssop is the ultimate purifier. It was used in cleansing rituals that, as it turns out, might have had a real biological reason for working. Then there is cinnamon. This spice was sometimes more valuable than gold. It was a key ingredient in the sacred anointing oil described in Exodus 30. It was part of a holy, protective blend used to consecrate the tabernacle and its priests. The fact that it was included suggests it was seen as a powerful preservative and protector. And finally, something truly ancient, frankincense. We all know it as a gift from the Magi, but its history goes back way further. It is a resin from the boswellia tree, and it was burned as incense in holy temples and used in healing balms. It was also famous for its medicinal properties, especially for taming inflammation. These 4 ingredients, garlic, hyssop, cinnamon, and frankincense, are going to be the heart of my daily potion. Each one has a deep history in biblical tradition, and my goal is to see if that ancient power still works today. All right, let's get to it. The plan is to create a daily tonic, a concentrated shot of these ancient herbs to take every morning. The process starts with our star player, garlic. To unlock garlic's power, you cannot just swallow it whole. Garlic contains a compound called alliin. When you crush or chop it, an enzyme is released that converts alliin into allicin. Allicin is the bioactive powerhouse, but it is really unstable and breaks down fast. So the method is key. I am taking 1 big clove of fresh garlic, mincing it as fine as I can, and then letting it sit for 10 minutes. You have to let it sit. That is when the magic chemical reaction happens that maximizes the allicin. While the garlic is doing its thing, I prep the hyssop. I am using dried hyssop leaves to make a strong tea. I will steep a heaping teaspoon of the dried herb in about half a cup of hot water for 10 minutes. The smell is amazing, like a mix of mint and sage, but with this unique earthy note. This is going to be the liquid base of the potion. Next, the cinnamon. I am adding about half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon right into the hyssop tea while it steeps. Cinnamon was in the holy anointing oil for a reason. Its compounds have been used in traditional medicine forever to help with everything from circulation to fending off sickness. Finally, frankincense. I am using a high-quality, food-grade frankincense essential oil, and I have to put a huge warning here. You have to be incredibly careful. Most essential oils are not safe to ingest. You must ensure it is specifically made for internal use, and even then, we are talking about a tiny amount, only a single drop to the entire mix. After the hyssop and cinnamon have steeped, I strain the liquid into a small glass. Then I add the activated minced garlic. I stir in that single drop of frankincense oil. To make this whole thing a little more bearable, I am stirring in a teaspoon of raw, unfiltered honey, which also has its own well-known antimicrobial properties. And there you have it, my biblical immune potion. It smells like history, medicine, and a little bit of fear. The plan is to down this every morning for the next 7 days. Let the games begin. Day 1. Okay, morning 1. Potion is ready. The smell is intense. Garlic is definitely the lead singer in this band. I held my breath and just took it down in one go. Wow, that is fiery. The garlic and cinnamon create this heat wave that goes down your throat and warms your whole stomach. It is not pleasant, but it feels intentional. For the rest of the morning, I could feel that warmth. No instant superpowers, but I definitely feel awake. Day 2. Woke up this morning kind of looking forward to the potion, which is weird. The taste is still a shock to the system, but it is like my body knows it is coming. I have noticed I have not been reaching for my second cup of coffee. I feel a kind of clarity and alertness that is different from a caffeine buzz. It is cleaner, more steady. Could be a placebo, but I will take it. Day 3. This is interesting. Usually by Wednesday, I am feeling that midweek drag. That 3 p.m. slump is my mortal enemy. Today, I just worked right through it. I felt focused and my energy was weirdly consistent all day. The potion is becoming less of a challenge to drink. The taste is still wild, but the feeling after, that internal warmth and steady energy, is something I am starting to really appreciate. Day 4. the turning point. Okay, this is where it gets real. My husband woke up this morning with a scratchy throat and a cough, the classic signs of the cold that has been making the rounds. Normally, this is a doomsday scenario. If he gets it, I am almost guaranteed to have it within 48 hours. I felt that wave of dread. But then I took my potion. It felt like I was arming myself, putting on my daily armor. I have been exposed. The test is not theoretical anymore. Now we just have to wait and see if this ancient stuff can actually fight off a modern bug. Day 5. Woke up this morning, and the first thing I did was a full body scan. Throat, clear. Nose, not stuffy. Head, no ache. My husband, on the other hand, is right in the thick of it. I am surrounded by tissues and the sound of coughing, and yet I feel fine. Not just fine. I feel good. I feel strong. I made my potion today with a whole new sense of purpose. This is the real test. I have a strong feeling this potion is playing a huge part in my defense. Day 6, I am still standing. It is almost hard to believe. My husband is starting to get better, but our house has been a petri dish for the last 3 days, and I have not even sneezed. My energy is high, my mind is clear, and I feel totally, completely healthy. The daily potion ritual does not feel like an experiment anymore. It feels like a necessity. Day 7. This is the final day. I took my last dose this morning, and I can say with confidence that something has changed. I survived a direct, in my own house exposure to a cold that would have taken me out any other time. But it is more than that. I have not had this much consistent energy or felt this mentally sharp in months. I feel resilient. I feel fortified from the inside out. The experiment might be over, but I think this journey is just getting started. So after 7 days, what is the verdict? Before I was tired, drowning in coffee, and felt like I was always one bad day away from getting sick. After I walked through a viral firestorm untouched, my energy levels have been through the roof, and I feel this incredible sense of well-being. Was it a miracle? No. Was it a coincidence? I really do not think so. And this is where it gets fascinating, because modern science is finally starting to catch up with what ancient wisdom seemed to know all along. Garlic, that allicin I was so careful to create, is known for its natural antimicrobial properties. Some studies suggest it can support the function of immune cells and may help reduce the severity of common colds. Hyssop. This herb was used for purification, and it turns out that was not just symbolic. Modern lab studies have confirmed hyssop has antimicrobial and antiviral properties. There is a scientific basis for its traditional use as a cleanser. Cinnamon. This is way more than just a tasty spice. Cinnamon has demonstrated immunomodulatory effects in studies, which means it can help regulate the immune system. Research suggests it is packed with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that can help support your body's fight against invaders. Frankincense. The boswellic acids found in frankincense resin are potent anti-inflammatory compounds. They work by inhibiting the formation of certain molecules that trigger inflammation. Since chronic inflammation can weaken your immune system, reducing it helps your body's defenses work like they are supposed to. So this potion was not just a random mix of herbs. It was a multi-pronged strategy, garlic providing direct antimicrobial support, hyssop helping to cleanse and purify, cinnamon helping to regulate the immune response, and frankincense working to reduce inflammation. So, what is my final take on the Bible's ancient immune potion? It is the real deal. The 7-day experiment was genuinely transformative. Not only did it seem to shield me from getting sick, but the sustained energy and mental clarity were unexpected benefits that I cannot ignore. This journey taught me that a lot of what we might write off as folklore is often built on a deep, observable truth about the natural world. These biblical herbs were not chosen by accident. They were, and still are, powerful tools. I am not saying this replaces modern medicine, but as a proactive daily habit to strengthen and support your body, it is incredibly powerful. And the best part is that these ingredients are easy to find. Will I keep taking it? Absolutely. This ritual has earned a permanent spot in my wellness routine, especially when cold and flu season rolls around. It is a small, powerful act of self-care that connects me to a tradition that is thousands of years old. Sometimes the best answers have been here all along, just waiting for us to rediscover them. Please remember, I am not a doctor. Always talk to a healthcare professional before trying any new remedies, especially if you have existing health conditions or are taking medications. I am really curious to hear from you. Which of these biblical herbs were you most surprised to learn about? And have you ever tried using ancient remedies in your own life? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Stay healthy, and God bless you.